All right, here we go with another episode of Dog Turds into Diamonds. We are taking on second place York City. We are in third, and 3 days ago we played 120 minutes in the FA Cup. Let's go. All right, how is everybody doing? We are here again, turning Dog Turds into Diamonds with AFC Rushden Diamonds. We are 6 games into the Vanarama North season. We are currently in third place. Things are going okay, but I think I'm recognizing that there are some very good teams in this league. Let's have a look at how things have been going since we were last here. We have obviously done okay to be where we are in the league, but we have dropped some points. After we beat Spennymoor when you were here for the last episode, we then went away to Hereford, got a 0-0 draw. We were the better team, but it was a tough game. Very few opportunities. Hereford were very, very good defensively. We didn't have it in us to break them down. You can see there were only 4 shots on target during the entire game. Marsh Hughes was very, very poor. I am thinking he is not a shadow striker. We really struggled to create anything. James Price has struggled as well since his hat-trick debut. But yeah, so this was one where we looked good, but we just didn't have enough up top. We then played Chester at home, and this was frustrating. You can see here, it ended up being a close game in terms of shots on target, but it doesn't really tell the whole story. We were actually far, far better the majority of the game, but you can see there, the 35th minute, Warner Ellie gets a red card on his first appearance of the season. We play the majority of the game down to 10 men. Just 2 minutes after that red card, we gave away a penalty, and that was the end of the game. But we had almost double the shots of Chester, and for the majority of the game, we had the better possession, the better XG, but we just hardly created an opportunity. We didn't really have a highlight. James Price hit the bar in the first half. That was about the best it got for us. So although it looks like a competitive game, and it says we had a 2.37 XG, we were really, really quiet. There was really nothing much to speak of. It was a frustrating defeat. You can see there, Crowsdale was very poor in midfield. It was just, it was a really frustrating one to lose. We were on full-out attack by the end, and you can see how their XG kind of goes up in those last stages of the game. Before that, we were on top of them, but yeah, again, we just didn't have that cutting edge. So it was 2 games in a row without a goal. So it was then very good to go away to Nuneaton Borough and get a nice 3-1 win. The team that came up with us through the playoffs last season finished second to us in the league. And here you can see we were well on top, back to our best, you could say. 11 shots on target, 62% possession. Diamond Edwards, the Diamond himself, got his first goal for the club, and then Earing got 2 wonderful goals. A header, I think, off a corner perhaps, and then a lovely little individual goal and finish to tie the game up. They also had a red card there. So it was nice to get back to winning ways in this one. Crowsdale still not convincing in midfield, and another game without a goal for James Price. The games at this point were really piling up. Since the start of the season, we have been playing every 3 or 4 days. We are yet to have a break. It has been really, really tough. We played at home against Bradford PA, who of course we beat in last season's FA Cup second round. It was it was a team that we were confident against after the way we dismantled them last season, and we had a decent little win here. Again, really good possession, lots of shots on target, and it was Ponticelli with a nice finish in the first half, set up by a brilliant Thomas Hughes through ball. And then Ray, our new centre-back, heading in from a corner. So Thomas Hughes gets 2 assists for this game. And again, it was just really good to start getting confidence back. Jack Brown was back in the team. He's returned from injury. You see, he's played 4 games now. Maybe not quite back to his best yet. Still no goals or assists, but he's getting there. He's building up the fitness, and we are thankful to have him back in the team, especially with all these games. So, yeah, after that win over Bradford PA, we then went away to Cray Wanderers in the FA Cup. I think it was 3 seasons ago we played Cray in the FA Cup and beat them. So it was nice to get there again. You can see we absolutely dominated the game. They only had 1 shot on target the entire match, but we had to do it in extra time. Very, very frustrating. James Price had another quiet game until he ended up winning it in extra time, set up by Marsh Hughes. We made a few changes in this game. We've been really having to rotate everything around. You can see here, I mean, Loco and Ray played at centre-back. James and Spencer came into midfield. Ponticelli was on the right wing. And we had Crowsdale on the bench, Earring on the bench, Gabadebo on the bench. Marsh Hughes came off the bench. Edwards was on the bench. Sumwumi was on the bench. Leo Gaxa came off the bench. So we were just really trying to rotate things around as much as we could to cope with all this fixture congestion that we've had. So a really, really tough spell, and we're hoping now that we can kind of kick on. But we do now have this game against York just 3 days after those 120 minutes. And then on Saturday, it's AFC Telford away. AFC Sudbury are a lower league team that we've got in the FA Cup second qualifying round now. So hopefully we can make a few changes for that and really maybe rest a few legs and get players ready to go for Chorley away in a few weeks' time. So we've kind of come through this spell not so bad, just the 1 defeat against Chester. Hopefully we can keep it going against York today, but it is going to be very tough. We have made some new transfers. You can see there we've got another couple of transfers on the go at the moment, waiting for confirmation of those. We have bought in Joseph Folks. He is our proper replacement. If you remember our sub right back proper from last season, I think Joseph Folks looks a really, really good option to come in and cover. He has come in on £275 a week. And if we just compare him to Jay Williams, our starting right back, there is a case there to say that Joseph Folks is a better player. Jay Williams is rated a little bit better technically. They're the same mentally. And then physically, Folks is the better player. So I think he's going to give Jay Williams really good competition there. And it's important that he's come in because we have had some injuries. Sorry, I'm seeing there just as we leave that. Let me go back to that because Emmanuel Honoriasi has also left us for Concord. If you remember, at the start of the season, he was valued at £150,000. We let him go on a free transfer. Yeah, nobody wanted him. I went all the way down to 30, 25, 20, 15, 10, 5. Nobody would bid for him. As soon as I offered him up on a free transfer, there was an absolute hatful of clubs in for him, and Concord have got him. I think they've got a really, really good player, and yeah, he was just one too many in our squad. So he's moved on as well. Now, if we go and look at our tactics for today's game, now with all the tired legs from the FA Cup game, I have had to throw Folks straight in for his debut. He hasn't even trained yet. And that is because Jay Williams, if we just look down here, he's just come back from injury. He really shouldn't have played a full game. He ended up doing 120 minutes. So he is really struggling for today. I might just put him on the bench looking at it just to have that option of the right back and the centre back positions that he can play. Warner-Ellie also comes straight back in after his suspension. 1 game, 1 sending off this season. Hopefully he can control himself, because Bailey Clemens is absolutely shattered. So a high risk of injury there. I can't play him. Gabadebo and Sowunmi come back in to the defence. They have been rested, so they are all right, as have Jack Earing and Ryan Crosdale. So we are fully fit there. The same with Diamond Edwards. Jack Brown is struggling a little bit, but he's good enough to start the game. And Leo Gaxa comes in for Thomas Hughes on the left wing, with Marsh Hughes starting up front. You can see James Price a little bit tired. He is going to be an option off the bench, as is Thomas Hughes. Mark Miller comes into the squad for the first time this season. Really pleased with him. He is now capped at under 19 level for the Northern Irish team. He is, again, we're seeing lots of red down arrows, which is unfortunate. But I'm hoping over the course of the season he will start to develop his talent. I mean, I just feel like he could be so huge, but he is getting slowly worse, unfortunately. King James, who started in the FA Cup, on the bench. And of course, we've seen Jay Williams. Other than that, Jim Fenlon has been injured, unfortunately. He comes back in 3 days, which is why we've had to start Folks today. We also have Max Waltman, who has been out for a month. He comes back in a week's time, and that is a great shame as well, because he had such a good start to the season. 2 goals and 2 assists in his 4 games. And he just gives us a mental intelligence that we just don't have without him in the side. So really need to get him back as soon as possible. But this is the way we start off. You might have seen we do have an offer on for a player. Have a look at Mason Burstow. He is a striker. I'm hoping he can give James Price a little bit more competition to be the Brown Sterling replacement. He is a really pacey striker, 6'2", with great jumping reach. So that is something we really don't have in our other striking options. And that 11 heading goes very nicely with that. Great first touch to set himself up in the box, and 10 finishing is acceptable. His off the ball is terrible, but his composure, I guess, is okay. He's coming in for £160 a week if he accepts the contract. I think it's worth a punt for £160 a week. He's got decent potential, and he was previously released from Charlton Athletic. So we're going to see how Mason Burstow goes when he comes in. If he doesn't work out, we're really just waiting for a next level striker to come up to complete this team and to give us that cutting edge that we currently haven't had too much of during the season. I might also have to go into the loan market and see if we can find maybe a player who's a League Two or nationwide, Vanarama Nationwide League level, because I think that's the only area that we're really lacking in, is just having that Brown Sterling figure who we can rely on to get to 30 goals this season. But we're going to see how Marsh Hughes goes today. That's the way we're setting up. Let's do the tactics here. You can see Gloucester are now top of the team. Did I get the chance to? There you go. I want to just follow my assistant's instructions. My assistant's instructions. That might be a Freudian slip there. Let's give Joseph Fawkes his number. Let's give him the 29. There you go. So they are playing with that tricky number 10 behind 2 strikers formation. But it does mean they're playing wing backs. So I think we can get at them down the wings. We do play out to our fullbacks. We do play out from defence. So I'm just going to do a couple of tactical tweaks. Let's go with our assistant. We've been on a good run lately. Go out and impress. As usual, they don't react perhaps in the best way, but we've more or less got a motivated team there to send out. All I'm going to do to deal with their tactics is just bring Crowsdale back to mark their number 10. Yeah, I want to leave him there. Let's just set him up to mark their number 10, just to try and take James Lynch out of the equation today. And we're just going to drop Jack Brown back into that centre midfield position. We have played this in the FA Cup last season, so we should be pretty confident with it. Let's see how that goes. We also played York City in our final warm-up game in pre-season, and we did beat them 2-1. So I'm hoping that we can repeat that performance today. It would obviously be a superb result if we could get 3 points away at the second place team in the league. They are obviously going to be contenders. We've had a little bit better of the possession, but they've had the only shot on target so far, and this is a very, very dull game as it stands. I guess I'd be happy with a draw. I think I am going to specifically look to play down the wings, and I'm going to open up and play a little bit wider. Just try and take advantage of where they don't have players as they get a free kick headed away. We are now with the defenders we've got pretty good in the air, although they then win that header. Let's see if we can maybe pick this up, because this has not been good enough so far. We do now have the highlight, and they are going down to 10 men. So let's really encourage our players now. Warner-Ellie puts it in there. Have we got a penalty there? We have. And hopefully Lloyd Marsh-Hughes, he gets his third of the season. Had my heart in my mouth for a second there as it hit the post and then rolled across the goal line. But we are 1 up and a man up. And you have to say that's a perfect penalty. Lovely stuff from Marsh-Hughes. And I suppose, I mean, it's been a very, very tight game. You could say a very boring game. But I guess I've got to be very, very pleased with that so far. There you go. Don't let your performance levels drop, lads. Just give the midfield a little extra push. And let's get into the second half. No more changes than that. Let's really try and take advantage now, as they now go to a number 10 and a single striker. I mean, they are still having the chances. Let's demand more of the team here. I think I can't be pleased with what they're showing. To be a man up and really not creating anything, it's a little bit disappointing. Up to 70 minutes. Let's make some changes here. Jack Brown, still getting back to fitness, is looking very tired there. And Diamond Edwards has been extremely poor, as has Leo Gaxa. What changes should we make here? I think what I'm going to do is bring Jack Brown off and swap Marsh-Hughes into the midfield. He can play that advanced playmaker role. And Jack Brown is going to come off for James Price. Let's hope he can repeat his goal-scoring feats of the FA Cup. Do I change anything else at the moment? I mean, the two wingers have been abysmal, but they do still have a decent level of fitness. Let's just make that one change for now. And we'll maybe save the last two changes for the last 10 minutes. Let's just demand more from the players. We now have technically had more shots than them, so I guess that's an improvement. It has been a very cagey game though. No, do I start time wasting? I will. And I'm going to stop overlapping. And we are just going to slow things down a little bit. And I won't change any more than that. But what I am going to change is now I've got to just start again just so that hits. And now for the last 5 minutes, we'll just get some fresh legs on. Let's have a look. I don't really want to use Thomas Hughes because he is suffering a little bit with his fitness before this game. I'm going to bring on Mark Miller in the midfield for Jack Earing, and we're just going to make him a deep lying playmaker on support, and we're going to change in that case Marsh Hughes to a Misala. And what else shall we do? Let's have King James come on for Crowsdale just to shore up the midfield. And let's just see this game out. It's been a very poor, boring game in this episode, but I've got to be pleased with the result and the 3 points. So let's take what we can get here. Please don't do this to me, Football Manager. Well dealt with there, but it's still not away. They get another cross in, and it goes wide, and we did not deal with that very well at all. Folks now, he's had a decent debut, 6.8. He gets Edwards away. Can Edwards find Price with a cross? He gets it across. It's palmed out, and James Price gets goal number 5 of the season, his first league goal since the opening day. And I'm hoping now that is the 18-year-old starting to find a bit of rhythm and a bit of form for us. Well done, James Price, in the right place to tap home. And I think we can start to relax now. A decent day's work in a very tough away game. And I'm just happy to come away with the 3 points there, I have to say. Let's tell them, there you go, nobody gave us a chance, well done. Pleased with the points, and we keep ourselves putting pressure on Gloucester at the top. But as we saw from the league table, there are going to be some very competitive teams and some very tough games this season. They want us to, the board want us to get playoff places. I think at the moment I would be happy with that. I mean, all the way down to Chester, really. I think all of those teams are going to be very, very strong this season. So we're going to have to see how the season goes and how the table pans out. But to get 3 points away at one of our promotion rivals is a really, really good result. So got to be happy with that. To sign off today, I will just show you what's going on with the finances. We are still struggling financially, but we are £10,000 up this season. If we can get through the next round of the FA Cup, then that helps. And playing at home is actually bringing us in a decent amount. So I think we are, now we've been promoted, we're in a far better position to hopefully break even on the season. If we can do well in the FA Cup again, the board want us to get, I think, 4th qualifying round, which at the moment we're doing okay. We're looking like we can achieve that. If we could go and get to the first round proper again, I mean, that would be absolutely fantastic. But yeah, for now, that's how things are looking. We now have a little bit of a rest, 4 days until we go away to Telford, who are struggling in 17th. So hopefully that's another winnable game. And yeah, hopefully we can just keep that run going. If you've enjoyed this episode, give us a like, and we will be back, I guess, probably if we get through the second qualifying round of the FA Cup, we will probably come back for the 3rd round, where we hopefully will have a decent draw. And yeah, I guess we're just, as always, we're looking at how the results go. We're looking at who's up at the top of the league. I mean, we've got Blythe away there on the 16th of September. So we've got a double header, Gloucester away, Blythe away. That is huge. So I think looking at it, that has to be the next episode. Gloucester away on the 12th, Blythe away on the 16th. They right now, as it stands, are 2nd and 4th. So those are going to be a huge couple of games. Double header for the next episode. We will see you then here on Dog Turds into Diamonds. See you very soon.